everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
It's the Phoenix History team. We're all out today on an adventure. Which can only mean one thing. We're in Medway. It's just easier for us to all get together, really, that way. We're going to do today on Phoenix History something that really we could have done years and years ago. But now we've got a team, now we've got more conversation, more emojis.
Local knowledge.
Local knowledge. We're going to now explore the infamous, in Medway, for all you Medway people, the infamous Dockyard railway line, the abandoned one. I will talk to you about the history as we go on, but for the early stages, it's very noisy. So when I talk to you, eventually it'll be in more quieter sections. We unfortunately, however, picked a wrong period of time to do this.
Yeah.
Rush hour.
Rush hour.
Rush hour and summertime. Everything is overgrown.
Yes.
And the cars and rush hour. But what a beautiful evening adventure, everybody. Jensen, you pumped? Yes, mate. Paul, you good?
I'm good to go.
Safe?
Let's go.
Right, see you on the other side. Come on. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you're doing very well. I'm just going to quickly do a weird thing in the history lesson where I'm going to talk about where we are. We started at the beginning, really, or as far as we can get to. Now, it's quite obvious, so I'm going to give away location. Over there is Waterfront School. Asda is around the corner there, Finger of Doom. The police, wave to them, everybody. The HQ is over there. Lidl is over there. And yes. So, we are at a replacement bridge, first off. This was a later addition. In other words, there's always been a crossing here, but this was a newer addition in terms of they'd rebuilt it. And it's quite a hefty, hardcore bridge, for what it's worth. But what's interesting is the moment you get here, as everybody has kindly spotted, it's our single track railway, which obviously goes to the history lesson. This was a single track line, although it's going to be a bit confusing because when we go up closer to Gillingham station, you'll see that there'll be a second section of track, and that's more to do with like an extra siding that was up that area, but it was labelled as a single track. I won't say too much more because it's very loud, as you can tell, but I will give you a full history lesson as we carry on going up. Let's go. Well, hello everybody. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know why I did that. First off, if you noticed, this is a Phoenix History hat, which was kindly supplied to us by the wonderful Paul. Jensen, do you want to show what your wonderful gift is? Thank you for that. Do you want to show? Look at that. A beanie as well. Soph's got a beanie as well.
In pink.
In pink. So, being Medway, this is quite nice because all of you haven't actually been on top of this ever before on this train line.
Many times through it, underneath it.
I drive underneath it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to work at that school as well for a brief period of time as well. Before it changed its name a little bit, but that's alright. So let's continue. It's interesting because I said the railway line still is here. We'll explain why that's the case anyway. And obviously just the exquisite sort of, I like it, it's a beautiful bridge, it's nice. The next one, however, it's got holes in it. So we're going to have to see about that.
Yeah.
But let's go, come on.
I've stolen you for a sec. Let's go.
Well everybody, we are slowly trudging our way through it. It won't be the most exciting video ever everybody, but it's kind of cool because the fact that this is just a piece of Medway's forgotten railway industry history. Is that right to say that? That's a lot of words. You can tell it's the evening and now we're going to another overgrown patch. Let's carry on. Well, say everybody, I always do find it quite interesting the fact that, you know, we're following a disused train line. I love it, even though there's not necessarily a lot to see. It still is an incredible piece of history that it still survives, and it's easy to trace. You know, you don't have to know. You don't have to sort of question where it is. You'll know. It's fairly obvious. But yeah, it's crazy, really, when you sort of like have a look through this and you just sort of see how genuinely abandoned it is, and the fact that the sleepers are still here. The tracks are still here intact. It's just bizarre, but I love it. Absolutely love it. And we've been in the intermission. We were having a lot of midges and flies and everything, which has been quite nice. We'll look forward to that in the morning when we check out how many bites we've had. But this is all part of adventure, isn't it? We sort of do this, and it's nice to see my friends coming out, especially because they're local. That they get to now say they've done a local one, isn't that right, Soph? But yes, see, we will moan, but actually in the same token we enjoy it at the same time. So yeah, there we go. And Jensen is doing incredibly well, leading the line. It's incredible how this really highlights how much of a single track this was. And you just see the steep banks that are lying here. Really hard to tell everybody, but just trust us on this. They're very steep, as you can imagine. And just obviously a hub for Medway's waste. Really? Yeah, and there's our Three Arch Bridge. I think it's three arches from memory. Got your main one, and you've got one on either side. Sadly everybody, as you will probably realise when I do my history lesson in a minute, is that we couldn't really find many old photos. In fact, actually the only real things that I could find were the Trainline map, which really, the old maps. And that's pretty much it. I couldn't really find anything that I could pinpoint exclusively to this line. And it's probably for good reason, because it's actually not that far, this train line. Although it does feel it when you're in the undergrowth and stuff like that. But yeah, look at this. There you go. That's what makes it. And the amount of people that go over that and probably don't even realise. Maybe the amount of people who do go over it and do realise. Like I say, it's been quite well documented by lots and lots of explorers. It's our turn now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, tough. Jensen, thoughts and feelings so far, mate? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll do. That's enough. That's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the amount of insects and things we've encountered. But yeah, there we go. Let's see what hidden goodies people from Medway have disposed and chucked off the bridge here. Like I said, hopefully it's not bodies. I know. We've got sofas. Exciting. Oh, we've got obviously lots of broken glass. They've actually put like little siding bits so you can go out there. This might be where people are living, but we don't know. We'll find out in a minute. Stay tuned. Hello everybody and welcome back. So we're literally on the line. This is your history lesson, by the way, just in case. We're finally doing it. We've finally got an option to sort of like do it, and obviously we're by the second to last bridge now, before it links up with used to link up with Gillingham station where the engine shed is. We'll get as close as we can with that, because also there's another couple of interesting bits that we'll sort of point out. So we're actually at, namely, what was referred to as the Chatham Dockyard link, and it was a single track line, as we've already sort of spoken about. I do apologise because we've sort of spoken about little bits in, but we're going to link it all up now. It started life in about 1872, and it was actually it was really the idea that manifested itself in 1872, and it was basically, very simply, to link up Gillingham, which was Gillingham line, and then Gillingham brackets New Brompton, and then to Chatham Dockyard. We're in Medway, noises are going to happen. So that was the idea, and then what had happened was that in 1877 it was actually built, and it was built via help of the London, Chatham and Dover Railway, which is obviously what the main line originally was on. You can guess where that was stopping off at, namely London, Chatham and Dover. And the motto is beautiful. I really love the emblem of that. It's kind of hard that I sort of found an image which is sort of like replicant of that as best as possible, because it's very difficult to try and find a really good one, but I love the motto of that. It's really wonderful, or the plaque, should we sort of say. All it was meant to do was basically take cargo from the dockyard back onto the main line of Gillingham, really, and then onwards. And that was really its main function. But the interesting side was that at some point it was disconnected in the 80s, and then it was reconnected. So a small section of it had sort of got basically sort of isolated for a second. And that was basically to do with the dockyard, with the idea that as changes were being built, the dockyard was sort of going out of use, etc., that they'd sort of cut it off. But then the most interesting part about this dockyard story, this dock line, is that, if most of you probably going to know what I'm going to say, if not, here we go. But it actually contained, this was actually a very, very scary line at one point. And this was after the 80s, when what happened was the nuclear submarines were being brought into Chatham Dockyard. And then what happened was they'd take out the nuclear core reactor, and then that would basically, in theory, get buried onto what we now refer to as St Mary's Island. St Mary's Island is now actually quite interesting because that's completely rebuilt over with houses. Now what happened was that they took to decontaminate St Mary's Island so they could build on it, which was full of nuclear waste from the nuclear core reactors. They basically dug up, with using a Geiger counter to see what was radioactive, dug it up, and they put it on this line. And this was when it was reconnected again. And what was really fascinating about it was the secrecy and the incredible nature of it, was that they were actually was guarded by Marine soldiers. So Marines were actually guarding the train as it was coming through, and it would be referred to as the nuclear train because of the nuclear waste that was on it. Geiger counter, very scary idea that really we always know, most people, including Sophie and Paul, know about the folklore and the myths surrounding the nuclear waste on St Mary's Island. I'm sure a lot of you people in Medway will be nodding your head as well, going, oh, I know a story about this and da-da-da-da. But it's factually true. It's the fact that it's bizarre. If you go on St Mary's Island, you know that actually was all formerly nuclear waste from core reactors, from nuclear submarines, and then, like I said, then they loaded it up when they were changing it over and they brought it through, and then it would link up to Gillingham, and then that was basically the story that was behind it. Then fast forward to 2015, and then officially it was shut then. It was officially shut in 2015, and then basically in 2016 officially it was out of use, and that was basically when it was severed from Gillingham train station. So the idea was that as we walk up, you'll see they basically cut off the main line to where it would link up eventually to it. But It's a fascinating story. The last train they reckon would have been serving on here would have been a freight train, and I reckon it probably would have been a DRS 66. I'm not a train geek by any means, but those classic freight trains that we see, and that would have been one of the main trains that would have been one of the final ones we reckon that would have probably come across here, disposing of that nuclear waste as to what it was for. But in a nutshell, this is Chatham Dockyard line, the former line. And just to recap again, officially started in 1877, obviously, but before that it was 1872 the idea had come about, just to take cargo from Chatham Dockyards all the way up through here, and then that was basically it. And then, like I said, discontinued in the 80s for a little bit, and then came back to life as obviously redevelopment was sort of happening. Paul, do you want to come in for a second, mate? Whilst I've got you. Obviously, thoughts and feelings, mate.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? It's so much history,
Yeah,
as Medway has, and to see the line still here as well.
yeah,
Like you said earlier, as it was coming through, it's the track still here.
yeah.
You know, and you would have thought there's so much metal.
And this bridge is
beautiful.
beautiful. It's so sort of the
Arch.
1800 sort of style of this beautiful connections. Absolutely wonderful. We know, like I said, that where we started, those the first bridge that we go across, which is the Pier Road Bridge, that was obviously rebuilt, as we know, to accommodate. It was basically because at the far end, as they were rebuilding St Mary's Island, they thought, well, let's just reuse it. Let's just use it as some transport. You know, it's easier that sort of way.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it being phases through just being built on that side where Asda wasn't Asda. The Medway UTC wasn't Medway UTC. Pass the camera off, Al. Look, what are your thoughts? Oh, before you're going to sneeze.
Ages. Oh.
Go on. What are your thoughts and feelings? Because you're obviously Medway born as well.
Yeah,
You've
so-
seen it, haven't you? Changes.
Yeah, so development all along Dock Road and Pier Road and
Yeah.
St Mary's Island. But yeah, it's fascinating that actually this was used for the decontamination, didn't actually? Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, that's the bit that I love the most, is that we could go crazy on what we could call this, like the nuclear train line, the nuclear reactor train line, and all this stuff.
That's what we are.
But the thing is, I genuinely found factual information that the Marine, it was so well, they had to guard it by the Marines. I don't think I got that in, but she did stack it.
I didn't.
No, almost.
Wobbled.
But yeah, it's crazy. We've still got to keep going, but we're going to take now a look at the bridge. Jensen, this is your favourite bit now, isn't it? Because you want to take a look, don't you, mate? So come on, let's
He's
do
half
it.
up the hill.
Come on. All right. Go on then, mate. Have a look at where the camera's pointing there, mate, as well. Well done. Here's the thing. Turn it round. Hi. Right, everybody, for continuity's sake, Jensen's going to go again, round 2. He's going to do the other one, isn't he, mate? Yeah, he's going to do the other one. So, by the way, in the comment section, give Jensen some likes and some props, because that's good stuff. Urban explorer in the making, as we're trying to hopefully train him up, aren't we? Yeah? And you can be a superstar, aren't you? Right, I'll give the camera to you, and then they can check it out on the other side. Well, everybody, welcome back. Jensen is leading the way. He's not as enthused about this one, are you, mate? No. But that's okay. It's not underground. No. Well, we're technically below ground. Below the surface, but yeah. But he's done very well, so please, in the comments below, show your appreciation for Jensen and his wonderful camera work and all the support. Always got to support the youth of the exploring world. Like I said, hopefully with a channel like mine, we can encourage more people, no matter what your age, to go out and exploring and go on little adventures. That's the idea, really. Make your own adventures. In time, we'll look back on this and be like, do you remember when? And that'll be it. Do you remember when Sophie got hit in the face multiple times? She'll be laughing. What? Saying, I'll face the camera backwards. I was saying about you getting hit in the face multiple times and that it might be quite funny.
Thanks.
You know, in the future. You've all been there, haven't you, everybody out in YouTube land? I'm sure you've been hit in the face by a bush. Or worse. Yeah. Are you swearing?
Did no one hear me stuck it into a bush?
No, but hopefully that's come out in the camera work.
You've all been there, haven't you, everybody out in YouTube land?
I think she does it on purpose. I think she just does it on purpose. She gets bored. I think Sophie gets bored and she just like, oh, just chuck myself into a bush. By the way, everybody, this is a different style for Phoenix History. We're just sort of having more of a vlog. A vlog and an adventure. There's Paul looking. He's covered himself up completely there, look at that. What a wuss.
Too many midges.
Gotta live the dream, mate. Expose yourself. Eat the midges. One's already gone up my nose. The only person who isn't phased is Jensen. He's got a stick. Oh, wheelbarrow. There we go. Sophie, well, you're just moaning, aren't you?
Huh?
You're just moaning. I'm filming it. I'm filming you moaning, by the way. Really? Hurt yourself?
Cut my hand.
Oh no.
Fall into a bush.
So I think even more people are going to have to like the video now.
Yeah, no. I need the sympathy.
Yeah. All the female urban explorers and historical explorers can relate to being accidents. I'm sure we've done it. Share your stories, everyone in the channel. I'm just ranting now. Keeping it in though. Something different, isn't it? Right, let's keep going. Because it looks like it's going to be even more overgrown. What do you reckon, gents?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I think
Come
we
on.
might be at the end of the line.
We're getting close. Come on. There we are. Oh, what happened?
I fell in the bush.
Oh.
I can push it.
Your earrings, you taking them off then?
Yeah.
Yeah, sensible. Well, everybody, we're slowly getting through it. It is a bit of a journey, but we're convinced we're going to go. We unfortunately are not going to come back. We're going to find the nearest exit point and then get out safely, because it's just not worth it, I don't think, really. It's too overgrown. We're not making excuses, it's just, well, once you've seen it going one way, see it go the other.
That's on Railway Street, isn't it?
Yeah, I said we're really close.
Yeah, on the other side of the road's the car wash.
It's that typical thing of when you look on Google Maps, you're like, oh, it looks a little bit further than we are, but actually, I mean, how long have we been going? An hour?
No, it's coming up from 10 to 7.
So what's that then? Over an hour. Yeah.
About 5:30.
Okay.
So, nearly an hour and a half.
And also, thankfully for all you fellow explorers, we've cleared a path for all of you. We've attempted to anyway. Yeah. No, you gotta keep going. It'll be fine. There you go. Jensen knows. Almost there, everybody. Right, come back to us in a minute. Hi.
Hello.
We're sorry about the edit of this video, the way it's going to come out. It's quite slapdash, quite vloggy. I don't mind that, really. We've cheated. We've had to cheat because he's very, very overgrown. This is the final bridge that we were sort of mentioning before. And then basically, it's sort of, if I direct you, it basically goes right over by the train line, just around the corner. Yeah, so if you do your, literally that, thank you very much. Jensen, we did it, mate. Wasn't the best, was it? In terms of, like, we didn't make it all the way, but we tried. It was just, believe us when we say it was just too overgrown. But that's where it would have linked up to the main line, and it would have curved around that way to join it. And if I just quickly go over, oh, hopefully I can put you over the top. No. It's so overgrown. Right down there, everyone. Follows it around like that, and then it links up to there. And all the new redevelopment. And then you can sort of see the football stadium just in the distance over there as well, not too far away, in the beautiful heart of Gillingham. And then the very iconic for most people of Medway, the car park that hasn't been used or built on forever, really. Sorry about the noise. Yeah, I'll come over to you. Yes, let's do that.
I can see.
Well, everybody, we are done officially.
Capital done.
Capital done. Thoughts and feelings, individuals, if you please. Paul?
Yeah, really good. Surprised it's still sitting there. So it was good to see. Off we went. Bit of a trek, but well done, everyone. You did it.
Check out Paul's Instagram, by the way, link below. Jensen, in your wonderful Gillingham t-shirt. Well done, mate. We like Gillingham. Go
Keeping it
on.
local.
It was all right. It was all right.
He's tired.
He's tired. That's okay. Sophie.
It's interesting. It's, as you say, it's still there. It's a bit of our local history that say you probably just, as I say, drive over, drive under, and just don't even realise it's there. What it was for.
I think because it's been done by a fair few explorers and we've taken this long to do it, am I regretful that I didn't do it earlier when I knew about it? No, because there's still enough there that satisfies me that we got to do it. And more importantly, I've got to do it with friends this time round, and I'm not on my own. And I think that that's really what I care about these days, is that even though this probably won't be the greatest video ever wise, hopefully you respect the fact that, for example, Jensen took the camera, he went for a little exploring himself. Sophie got hit, slapped,
Fell in the
stacked
bush.
hit, all manner of things, and me and Paul were just keeping it real.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Just doing that, really.
Standard, yep.
That's standard, keeping it real. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts to every single one of you. Hopefully you feel free to spread the word of the channel. Well, hopefully we did a good enough job with the history of it as well. I'm sure some of you will be like, well, you missed this little bit out and stuff like that. But on this occasion, I felt that there wasn't enough photos that I could find to justify genuine history lesson. So if we just walked it and talked it, hopefully you appreciate that. It's a bit of a backwards way to do it today, but hopefully you respect that. Any more words of Phoenix history? Thank you so much for coming along with us. Many likes, many comments, many follows from Sophie's Instagram, Paul's Instagram, and obviously Jensen, the up-and-comer urban explorer. The youth. Stay tuned, he will probably be well known in a few years' time for his many adventures. And like I said before, hopefully it's videos like this encourage all of you to go out and explore your own history, not just the stuff we do, but your own personal stuff. And obviously to encourage younger people out there, because we're just getting old, to go out and carry on the legacy for what we're doing. We're still going, by the way. We ain't retired just yet. We're still getting there. Take care, everybody. Much love to all of you out there, because history matters. Are you ready, my lovelies?
Let's do it.
Kapow!